Well, in between the stress of homeschooling, working remotely, keeping the family afloat, may not come as a huge surprise to hear that 1 in 4 women reportedly drank more to cope with COVID lockdowns, with many forming unhealthy and sometimes dangerous alcohol habits.
As restrictions lift across the country and the silly seasons kick into gear, drinking is once again front and centre on the social calendar. So, how can you curb your consumption and still feel like the life of the party?
Well, for more, we welcome sobriety coach Lucy Quick live from Melbourne. Hi, Lucy.
Hi, guys.
Let's get a quick recap. How many standard drinks a day is the recommended limit? And what does that look like? Because we get the quantities, gee, we get it wrong.
Sure. So the Australian government recently updated the recommended limit for healthy drinking to 10 standard drinks per week or 4 standard drinks per sitting. And that's for men and women.
OK, now can we sort of touch on the science behind alcohol and coping with stress? What does a couple of wines at night do to our health?
Yeah, sure, Larry. So, it makes perfect sense after the past couple of years we've had with COVID and lockdown, homeschooling and all of the stress that COVID's brought into our lives, that we're reaching for the thing that makes us feel better in the moment, which is alcohol. But what a lot of people may not be aware of is alcohol is actually exacerbating stress. So when we drink, alcohol artificially triggers the reward circuit in our brain to release a huge surge of dopamine, which is why it feels really good in the moment when we drink. But actually, in order to counter the numbing and depressant effects of alcohol, the brain also releases a surge of cortisol and adrenaline, which are stress hormones. And it's these stress hormones that hang around in the body for far longer than the numbing effects, which is why drinking to alleviate stress is actually really counterproductive.
OK, you've got some red flags here that maybe your drinking, needs to be looked at, that it could be getting out of hand. We've got a graphic.
Yeah, so there's a number of red flags that you can keep an eye out for when it comes to whether or not you have a drinking problem. However, the top 5 that we recommend at Thrivalist is, the first one is, if you already think and perhaps intuitively feel that you have a problem with drinking and maybe you've tried to take some time off and failed, then that's a red flag that there is a drinking problem. If you're setting yourselves rules and guidelines around, how much to drink, what to drink, when you'll drink, and then you're unable to stick to these rules and guidelines, that's a red flag. If you're lying about your drinking or hiding your drinking from loved ones and friends and family, then that's a red flag. And if you're drinking just to sort of make the everyday mundane tasks of life, such as the dinner, bath, bed routine, more enjoyable, and perhaps drinking at home quite a bit just because you think it's what everyone else is doing, then that's a red flag. And if you're having any form of memory loss or blackouts during your drinking, then that's another red flag to keep an eye out for.
OK, now, with lockdowns lifting around the country, how can you navigate drinking socially while trying to build sort of healthier drinking habits? And we've all fallen into those bad habits, I think, in the last year or two.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing to know is that if you think that you have a drinking problem, it's really important that you get the support that you need. And there are so many incredible communities out there of like-minded people like Thrivalist who can really support you and empower you to make more informed decisions about your drinking. Now, in regards to socialising, perhaps sober or cutting back your drinking, think about how you can change the way you're socialising. So if you normally go to a cocktail bar and sit there and smash back the cocktails with the girls, why not sort of suggest going to a comedy show or a live music show where the whole night is not revolving around drinking? It's also really important that you introduce alcohol-free options throughout the night. Now, you may like to alternate alcoholic drink versus a non-alcoholic drink, and if you're trying to abstain from drinking altogether, give the venue a call beforehand just to make sure they've got a really nice alcohol-free option on the menu. And we're so lucky that there actually are so many alcohol-free options these days. And finally, it's really important that you have a really strong toolkit of tools for if you do get the urge to drink or overdrink. Now, there's a bunch of tools on our website, but our most popular tool is called Playing the Tape Forward. And the way that this tool works is to visualise how the night will unfold with the scenario of you drinking or over-drinking, and really think through the night. Think about, what might I do that I'll regret? How will I feel when I go to sleep? That's if I can remember going to sleep. How will I feel the next day? And then how the next, couple of days will play out. and then play the tape forward with the scenario of abstaining from drinking or moderating successfully. How will I feel when I hit my head hits the pillow, I've taken all my makeup off, I wake up the next day and I've got a full day ahead of me where I just feel fantastic.
Yeah,
so that's a great tool.
Yeah, all really good tips. Thank you so much, Lucy, as we head into Chrissy party season. Thank you.